YouTube podcast family, you already know what it is. Pays and Plays podcast here. You already know it is Friday, September 22nd. So you already know it's Good Friday. Best bets. We got week 3 of NFL. We got week 4 of college football. Tons of games, tons of slates. There will be no teaser because I'm going to kind of cut to the chase because I do have to do some shit. You know how that shit goes. Still got to keep shit pushing. But we will get into these picks. And couple of these games in college football, since we'll start there. One game in particular, it's going to be a weather impact game, and I'll talk about the other two that in the NFL that I'm betting on too. So, but we might as well get right into that. I will have Temple plus 23.5 taking on the U. And I know it's the U, and people think Miami will blow this fucking team out. I would think the same way too. But here's the catch. We got a tropical storm hitting that area of Philly. It's at with Lincoln Financial, so it's where the Eagles play at too. So I think this game will probably be let's get this game over with and let's get the win. Miami does win this game, but it will be a lot more closer than people think. And I think it's because of the storm. You know, I grew up part of my life in the South. So people who know that lives in the South know these tropical storms, they impact certain shit that even when you watch football games. I remember as a kid, when Hurricane Francis hit and they played Miami and Pittsburgh, you can see the highlights of that game. And like that game was fucking dreadful. They really played in the fucking hurricane. So I can imagine how this shit would be with 3 to 5 inches of rain and, you know, whoever knows what else could happen. But E.J. Warner, yes, E.J. Warner, that is Kurt Warner's son. Very pretty solid quarterback. He was a true sophomore, but pretty solid. An underrated offense. I do think they score some points. They're a lot better than what people would think. So give me plus 23.5 with Temple. Next game, I got Colorado plus 21. Now, this is a game that I'm going with the public. And I do think this line is crazy. And I know the Travis Hunter injury, him not playing is a factor. But I mean, I think as long as you have Shedeur Sanders as your quarterback playing, you have the chance to do something. You know, it could be for all we know, it could be a 60 to 45 game and they cover, 21 points, 3 touchdowns. So that's how I kind of look at it. The over is kind of high, but I think it goes over now that I thought about it. The one thing I will factor with the spread, I know everyone says Colorado doesn't run the ball. Yeah, they don't. They run a little efficiently when they need to, but you got McCaskill, the Houston transfer. He's ready to play. And I do think that's they like ground and pound running back. You know, they got Edwards. He's more like the little Darren Sproles, quick, elusive one. But I think this guy right here, I remember him back in Houston when he was legit before he got hurt. He was a pretty solid back. I expect that. It's the defense that I wonder. But I do think points is scored, so that's why I'm going with the plus 21 with Colorado. But a lot of people love the money line. I know that money line is juicy, but, I say sprinkle it. Do plus 21 and do sprinkle the money line. Hell, you might get both bets as a dub. So, but let's get into the third one, though. BYU traveling to Kansas plus 9.5. I saw this number fluctuate all the time. It was I think it opened at plus 8, and then it went up to 8.5. Then it was at 8.5 for a minute. Then it drops to 8. I seen that 9.5. BYU is impressive. You go to Arkansas, which that was last week. That was one of my most regret bets not betting, because BYU I saw at plus 10. Arkansas best running back Sanders is out. It drops to 8, and not only did they cover the spread, they actually outright won. But this team can travel. BYU can travel pretty good. So their defense is pretty solid. With Kansas, yes, they have an offense and there's an up and down team, but you can score on this team. And it's going to relate to the next pick I have. You can score on this defense because Kansas is they're shaky. You know, that Illinois game, I think that was a sign because they were up big against Illinois, and then when they kind of got shut out for a little bit, Illinois kind of came back in the game. And, they almost lost the game, honestly, at one point. But give me BYU. I wouldn't be shocked if they make the upset, but I do like them to cover this one. Next game, we got North Carolina traveling to Pitt. Pitt as plus 7.5-point underdogs. Give me Pitt. It goes to what I say with Kansas. North Carolina defense is very suspect. I don't trust it. I know everyone hypes up North Carolina because of Drake May, but it's not like he's playing both sides of the field. He's playing offense. This is how that goes. Pitt defense is pretty solid. Their pass game is very underrated. Plus 7.5. This is a game where I think, honestly, Pittsburgh will outright win. But it's just, I can't trust North Carolina, man. Like, these big games for Mac Brown, since he's been at North Carolina, it's always been disappointments when they're supposed to outright win these games. So give me Pitt to at least cover the spread. And last for college football, I will have UConn plus 22.5 taking on Duke. Now, I don't believe UConn has won the game, and I have a future with them. But I think this line is definitely fluctuating because it's all the hype about Duke now, right? They blew out Clemson, but if you really watch that game, it was really Clemson, right? Clemson at the 1 yard line about to score, then is a fluke ass fumble and a scoop and score, 99 yards. So I mean, Riley Leonard he's solid. He is very solid. But outside of that, both teams match up pretty evenly as far as athletes that's on the field. And it's a home game, and it's UConn. So fuck it. Give me UConn plus 22.5. Now, let's get into NFL. Very interesting games. I will tell you one game that I was going to lean on, but I did not take it. But, matter of fact, let's talk about that. I was leaning Washington Commanders plus 6.5. And I kind of wasn't. At first, I saw like the line. Certain books is juiced up to Buffalo. Certain lines is juiced up to Washington. So I want to kind of hold off. If I can get plus 7, if I get lucky and get a plus 7.5, I probably would take those options. Right now, that's a lean for me. But this problem goes into what I'm about to talk about that I'm about to bet. We got the Indianapolis Colts plus 8.5 against the Ravens. Yes, we're taking plus 8.5. I told somebody this because I know he's a parlay guy, and I know he likes Baltimore. I had to alert him, and I will alert him with the Washington game with everybody. This tropical storm is still going to be a thing. You got Saturday and Sunday games being impacted, and it's going to be heavy rain in Baltimore. This is a perfect game that screams to me defense. Colts has a great defense. Ravens defense has been playing pretty good as well, but I trust this. I know Lamar Jackson is solid. He's been pretty solid, but the OBJ injury, I see a lot of running the ball. DeForest Buckner, Shaq Leonard, those guys on the defense that front seven is very legit. I mean, and they're all healthy, so that's the great thing you have to think about. With the offense, though, with the Colts, yeah, you have a backup possibly with Gardner Minshew. Is that a little bit of a concern for me? Yeah, because I always talk about Gardner Minshew. But this head coach came from Philly. He was the offensive coordinator. Y'all remember that game when Gardner actually played pretty solid against the Cowboys Christmas Eve? That was a neck-and-neck game until that was, a late turnover or whatever. But I think this game can be very close just because Minshew's familiar with the system. I mean, he plugged in pretty good. I know it was against Houston, but he plugged in pretty good in a situation where they were only up by a touchdown. He kind of continued that wave. But yeah, I'm really banking on the defense to step up because this front seven is legit. And if OBJ might not be playing, I mean, I kind of feel even more better. But if Anthony Richardson, we don't know. I think he didn't practice Thursday, so I'm not sure he's going to play. But if he does end up playing, I think this is a plus because then I got it, and I think it might drop to maybe plus 7.5, maybe 7. Next game. This game here, I really, as much shit talk I talk about them sometimes, if they don't win this one for me, you would never hear me talk about a best bet for them the rest of the season. I promise you. This is like an over-under total. Give me the Detroit Lions -3 against the Falcons. My idea is this. Dan Campbell, everybody, stop that run first. Okay? Stop the run first. You got Jack Campbell who can stop the run, right? Use him, utilizes him. You got J-Rod out there. You got M-Rod out there. You know, Emrod out there doing this thing as far as the coverage. And, you know, if you miss the tackle, he's right there. But come on, man. You got to go all in on this run. Yes, they got Drake London. Yes, they have Kyle Pitts. Yes, they got 2 solid weapons, but it's Desmond fucking Ridder, bro. Jared Goff. Stop with the turnovers. I thought you would have learned better last time you played against the Seahawks, and you did the same shit in the same formation they were in. This team, Atlanta, has no pass rush. Look what Jordan Love did. Everyone talks shit about him. Look what the fuck he did. I mean, if Jordan Love can have 3 tutties on you think Goff can have maybe 4 on him? I mean, unless they're going to run the ball, but you can ground and pound on the Falcons too. So, you know, St. Brown will be playing this game, and that's a great plus. But Reynolds has been stepping up. You know, Laporta has been stepping up. Is all on Gibbs now. You know, they got another backup they just signed because Montgomery is going to be hurt. I don't know if Decker is playing, but even if Decker isn't playing, the offensive line against Atlanta, the defensive line is bro, it's Lions over that. Y'all better give me this one, because if not, bro, I like I said, I would not mention these motherfuckers no more for a best bet. I swear. But let's see. Oh, shoot. Okay. Rams. I did take the Rams. And if I were you, take the Rams money line right now while it's still plus money. Because this money line is slowly shrinking because I don't think Burrow will be playing. From what it looks like, he's very discomfortable in fucking practice. Not a game, nigga. We talking about motherfucking practice, my nigga. So I'm going to go with that with the Rams. Stafford has been very impressive. I mean, it's Aaron Donald, really. If Aaron Donald dominates this fucking game in the trenches, how can I really go against the Rams at that point when even if Burrow plays? And you talking about Jake Browning? Bro, I remember Jake Browning from Washington days, bro. Like, Bama showed it all. Put him in pressure, bro, he's going to fucking choke. So I'm going with the Rams with that one. I do have 2 anytime touchdown player props that I think is very interesting to look into. If you go into DraftKings, you can get Jordan Jefferson anytime touchdown for plus 105. I think that's a fucking lock, bro. He hasn't had a tutty this season yet, and everyone that I know raves about Jordan Jefferson is the best receiver. I've been saying Tyreek Hill's been shown as the best receiver because of what I've been seeing. But this is the same team that they're going against, the Chargers, that Tyreek had 2 tutties on them. I can see JJ having 2, honestly. But give me at least 1 touchdown plus 105. He hasn't had a touchdown yet, so I know he's hungry to get one. And lastly, I like Justin Fields plus 200 on FanDuel anytime touchdown. Now, and you know, I want to talk about that briefly with him. I know there was a lot of character problems they said all of a sudden that happened during the draft process. I don't think this is what it is, but he is supposed to be your franchise quarterback. And if he kind of expressed a certain way about some things, you kind of have to somewhat expect it. I don't think it's an overreaction, but he does have to get better as his pocket awareness. There's tons of plays last week that I saw where it was receivers dead open. And I'm thinking, like, he's reminding me of Michael Vick, when Michael Vick used to always run first and not even pay attention until he went to Philly. That's what that's really how much I look at it. But I do think he gets a touchdown because they play against the Chiefs. And the Chiefs' defensive line has gotten real improved, especially with Chris Jones back. I definitely see him running around, trying to fucking win a game for this team and try to prove he is a franchise quarterback. I still been vouching for him. I've been the only guy to say, outside of Trevor Lawrence in that drive, he is the second best one. You're kind of worried about what if he was with the 49ers. I think that would have been a great system. I just my opinion instead of Trey Lance, because look how that worked out. But you guys, let's continue this wave. Keep on subscribing, liking the content. I appreciate any views that I'm getting right now. As always, guys, be safe out here. Let's get this money.